Hi guys, this is Sonia here with Real Talk Radio, and here is the narrated video of Time Tracks, and this is the conclusion of Chapter 1, When Destiny Calls. Sophia yelled out after him, "Oh, please don't go, at least not yet. I need to ask you something before I can decide whether or not to board this train that you say is coming." He stopped walking and turned fully around to face her before smiling a reassuring smile. Sophia noticed just the hint of a knowing twinkle in his eye and felt inexplicably relieved and less afraid. "Please do ask, miss." Sophia struggled for a moment, working up the courage to continue, for she was well aware of the highly unusual circumstances she now found herself in, and she was starting to believe that this kind stranger was much more than he appeared to be. In fact, the thought of who he might really be brought an unexpected twinge of returning fear to her, but she quickly shook it off, certain that this kind man was a friend, and she continued. "When Daniel broke off our engagement, for one of the most awful reasons imaginable, by the way, betrayal," and here she had to stop a moment to catch her breath, shook anew by the awful truth of it. "Well, I thought my life was over, but then this happened," and at a loss to adequately explain the unbelievable events of the day, she chose instead to wave at the broad expanse of majestic scenery all around them, including the mountain. "Well, the thing is, and I do apologize for this because you've been so kind, but I'm still not entirely sure you are real. I mean, after all, you could be a figment of my imagination or a hallucination." However, even as she said these words, they sounded hollow and unconvincing to her. She well knew how very real every aspect of what was happening felt to her. Slightly anxious, she chewed at her lip, a bit embarrassed now at having said so much out loud, but she was determined, in spite of her discomfort, to say everything that was on her mind. "I'm just suddenly not sure of anything at all. I thought my life was set and things made sense, but now here I am at this crossroads or time portal, as you have called it, which I have to say is still a very hard thing to believe could be true, and I don't know what to do. So this is what I wanted to ask you before you go, before I decide whether to get on board this train or not." Suddenly, in a manner very much akin to a train conductor, T.C. raised his hand before she could ask the question and gestured for her to stop. His kind gray eyes searched her face intently. "Miss Sophia, I do reckon you're going through a lot of emotions right now. Folks don't always decide to board the train. Some turn back. And I just want you to know they always find their way back to their once familiar surroundings again. And you can do that too. It's entirely your choice, Miss Sophia. You can keep going on into the unknown, or you can choose to go back to what is familiar. It's up to you. I just wanted to be sure you knew that, miss, before you asked your question." Sophia's heart fluttered in her chest, and she swallowed hard, not ashamed to admit that she was nervous and scared to hear the answer, but finally ready and able to ask the question. "Well, here's my question. I wanted to know, would I be able to come back here again? I mean, back to my home here someday if I decide to get on the train?" T.C. smiled his big, broad, comforting smile at her again, and once again relief flooded through her at the sight of it. His eyes seemed to be twinkling more than ever as he answered her. "Why, yes, Miss Sophia, you most certainly can, but chances are you probably won't want to. At least that's how most folks wind up feeling when destiny calls."